Morning, everyone. Richard Bliss Brooke here, coming to you from the foothills below Yosemite at Bliss Ranch. I'm headed out today for Dallas. Excited about that trip. Today, we're going to talk about the 3 qualities of a champion. And I know I probably drew you in with that title because you're probably thinking, well, he's going to talk about the heart of a champion and what we need to do to be a champion. And actually, that's not what I'm going to talk about this morning. I'm going to talk about a certain quality of a person on your team. On your team, those of you that are champions, those of you that are looking to create a champion accomplishment, a person that you're going to want to have on your team, like to surround yourself with, is a champion. And what do I mean by a champion? Well, think of it more like a verb than a noun. So a champion is somebody that you have on your team that champions you. What do I mean by champion you? They celebrate you. They are a stand for your success. They want you to succeed. Even if they're not in your business, even if they're not on your business team, they're somebody that holds the greatness in you and their heart and the vision that you have for what you want to accomplish in your life is something that's really, really important to them. And they are somebody that's really important to you. So what you do with this champion is you talk to them about what it is your vision is and what your goals are and what your business plan is. And a champion is somebody that you make a request of in your life and business to, in a sense, hold you accountable. Now, oftentimes, this will make a lot more sense, that people refer to a champion as an accountability partner. And accountability is part of the process of a champion. But at Bliss Business, we use the word champion instead of accountability partner because it sets up a whole different feel for the person and the relationship that you have with them. If the person that you recruit on your team is an accountability partner, then kind of notice how that feels in your body, that you're being held. Being held what? Being held accountable. And how many of us like to be held accountable? I don't like to be held accountable at all. I'll bet nobody likes to be held accountable. It's kind of like being held down on the ground and yet, Chinese torture. You got to do what you say you're going to do. So we use a champion as a different concept than accountability partner. And a champion has a really specific role. And you want to choose your champion wisely because who they are and how they hold you is critical for them to be a champion for you. So they have to be somebody that has a grand appreciation for your business and your goals. Doesn't matter if they're in your business or not. But they have to want you to succeed like you want to succeed. And so this is a person you just go to and you lay out your vision and you lay out your goals and you lay out your business plan. And the most important thing that you lay out is your single daily action. If you have a single daily action, or maybe you have a weekly commitment that is the part of the process to building your plan. Okay, I'm back live now because I lost signal. So you want to lay out what your business plan is, what your commitments are. And so for those of you that have studied any of our project work and our business plan work, what you know is if your vision and your goal is to walk across the United States, the most important part of your plan is what are you going to do every day? And so how do you walk across the United States? Well, you walk 20 miles a day. That's all you got to do. Walk 20 miles a day, and I don't know how many days it is, but 6 months later, you're, on the other shore of the United States. So in sharing your project and your accountability, if you will, with your champion, what you're going to share mostly with them is, hey, this is what I'm going to do every day. Every day I'm going to walk 20 miles. And so the request that you make of your champion is that they just be a person, a place where you can report whether you walked your 20 miles or not. and that's it. And a really key distinction around the difference between a champion and how some people use accountability partner is what the champion does. This is the second piece. The first piece of a champion has to be somebody that is a champion for you. They really want you to succeed. They're not competing with you. They're not hoping that you're going to lose the contest and they're going to win the contest. They really want you to succeed. And so the second piece of a champion is that they're a place where you just report your results. And that's all you do is report your results. So they're just, they can be somebody on the other end of a text, on the other end of a Facebook message, an email, a voice message of some kind, and you just have a standing agreement. Hey, this is what I'm committed to do. I'm going to walk across the United States. How I'm going to do it is I'm going to walk 20 miles a day, 6 days a week. You know, on Saturday or Sunday, I'm going to take a day off and rest and, you know, heal my feet up. But the other 6 days, I'm going to walk 20 miles. And here's my request of you, champion, is will you be a place that I can report whether or not I walked my 20 miles? Now, why is that so important? Well, what we're taking advantage of with a champion is that innate part of being human, that we are addicted, like at a deep, deep level of looking good. Like we want to look good to people that are important to us. People we don't care about, sometimes we don't care. But people that are important to us, people that we admire, people that we respect, we will do more oftentimes to show up good in that report, that daily report for them, than we will for our own ambition, for our own reasons. So if you leave your 20-mile-a-day commitment to yourself, well, you know, well, I did, I didn't, I have all these reasons and excuses, and so, you know, we're horrible accountability partners for ourselves, and oftentimes we're just horrible champions. So how you use this psychology is you pick somebody that you really admire or respect. They admire and respect you. They buy into your goals. They don't have any cynicism about, oh, that's stupid that you're walking across the United States. You'll never make it. What's the point? You don't pick somebody like that. Pick somebody that true in their heart is a champion for you. Could be a spouse. Could be somebody on your team, could be somebody sidelines, could just be a good friend, and you just lay it out for them. Hey, I admire and respect you. I'm going to walk across the United States. I got to walk 20 miles a day, every day, 6 days a week, and I know if I can report to you whether I walked my 20 miles, it will motivate me to walk, because when I think about reporting to you that I didn't walk, that doesn't feel good. That feels worse than walking. And that's kind of the setup that you're looking for is when you think about avoiding your single daily action, your business plan, the part of your bite-sized business plan that'll get you across the country walking. When you think about, oh, I don't want to walk today because it's rainy or it's cold, that doesn't feel good. You want the reporting that you didn't walk to feel worse. Does that make sense? If the reporting that you didn't walk feels worse, then you'll walk. Simple as that. So everything comes down to motive. You know, I'm not a huge fan of training. I'm a huge fan of motive. If you and I are motivated, we'll do whatever needs to be done. We'll figure it out. If we need some training and education, we'll just go get it. And so this is about, how do you walk across the United States? You just get motivated every day. And you know, one of the ways you can motivate yourself is to visualize what it's going to feel like for you when you get across the United States, and you know, the celebration and the ticker tape parade or wherever you're walking across the United States. That's one way to get motivated. Another way to get motivated is to fall in love with the process of walking every day 20 miles. Just love the journey, fall in love with the process, be totally curious about what am I going to see today, who am I going to meet today, like that'll motivate you to walk every day. And hiring a champion will motivate you to walk every day when you have the idea, oops, I'm going to have to report no walking. And then here's the secret to a champion, and the third quality of a champion that's different than an accountability partner. So oftentimes an accountability partner sort of gets mixed up with thinking they're a coach, or maybe you infer that you're looking for a coach. And coaching does dive into the psychology of motivation, and coaching is a trained skill and should be left to trained professionals. So, of course, all of us can learn to coach, but somebody that you just call up and say, hey, I'm building this big business this year. These are my goals. I'm looking for somebody that I admire and respect that I can report into every day, whether I did or I did not do what I said I'm going to do. That's not a coach. That's just a champion. And so here's what a champion does that doesn't do, that an accountability partner sometimes tries to do, that gets messy. So first, what does an accountability try to do? I report in, you know what, I said I was going to walk 20 miles today, and I didn't, and the reason I didn't is, I got started, and the sole fell off my shoe, and then a car came by, and, they were going to pick me up, but they didn't, and it didn't pick me up, and then I got lost, and then it started raining, and so I only walked a mile today. And so what the accountability or the coach will do is dive into, well, why didn't you walk anyway, and what's the matter with you? And they'll listen to the story, and they'll try to analyze why you let the story get the best of you and take you off track. That's what a coach does. Sometimes that's what an accountability partner tries to do. But here's what a champion does. And this is an agreement you set up with your champion before you hire them as your champion. The champion makes a commitment to you to never, ever, ever listen to your story. So the champion's role is to be a place for you to report whether you walked or not, and then hang up the phone. Whether you walked or not, and press send on the message. Whether you walked or not, and that's it. No story. It's all over. So you set this up with the champion ahead of time. They make a commitment. They never ask you why you didn't walk. If you try to tell them a story about why you didn't walk, they terminate the conversation. They just don't listen. And if they have to, what you want to coach them to do is tell you, hey, that's all fascinating, but I don't care. I don't care about the story. I don't care why you didn't walk. It doesn't matter to me. The only thing that matters to me is whether you walked or not. Yes or no? In or out? So 3 qualities of a champion. They got to be somebody that absolutely deep in their heart admires and respects you and is a champion for whatever it is that you're seeking to accomplish. Like, they're not competitive either in a petty way or an actual way. They have a pure heart. And second, they're a place, the quality of which they will agree to receive your daily message. That's just a promise that they make. It's a request that you make of them. That's a promise that they make to you. I will receive your daily message about whether you did or you didn't. And the third quality is they never, ever, ever ask you why. Why not? Oh, that's horrible. Oh my gosh. You don't ever, ever, ever get to draw them into your drama. And, we all have drama, and we all have stories, and we all have excuses why we didn't do something. And it's not that some of them aren't totally legitimate. I started off today and I got run over by a bus. Okay, totally legitimate. But in the relationship with a champion, you don't get to tell that story. You can tell it after the report. Oh, by the way, I'm in intensive care. I got to reboot my business plan because I got run over by a bus. But you don't use run over by a bus as part of your whiny story about why you didn't do what you said you were going to do. It's totally separate. So I trust that supports you. Kind of a quick this morning, but put that in your toolbox. No matter what you're up to in life, go find yourself a coach, a champion. Find yourself a coach, but that's a whole different distinction. Find yourself a champion. Could be your best friend, could be your spouse, could be one of your kids, could be somebody on your team, could be somebody in your upline if you're in network marketing. Doesn't really matter where they are or who they are or what their relationship to you is, as long as they have a pure heart that they are a champion for your success. Lay out your business plan. Tell them what you're going to do every day. Report in every day. If you go MIA, The first indication that you're not doing your 20 miles a day is you quit reporting. Raise your hand if that's true for you. The first indication that you're off track is you go MIA. No reports, right? So one of the things you got to coach your champion to do is, when you don't hear from me for 2 or 3 days, you send out a search party. Search party kind of sounds like, excuse me, Flakorama, hello? Anybody out there? Report in. And, then you get your reports back. So there you have it.